gentlemen, we are proud to bring a very, very, very special man. He cut his own grass today, and he still made it on time to the interview. Kendrick Brown. Everybody give us Kendrick Brown.
Kedrick. It's actually Kedrick. So there's
Kendrick
no
Brown,
N.
man.
K-E-D.
You know when I
No
first
end.
no
No
end.
N.
I had a homeboy in high school. God rest his soul. He spelled the name the same way. I
Yeah.
always call him Kendrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually, good close acting friend of mine. His name is Kendrick, and his last name is Brown too. So, and
Wow.
so people know the both of us, so they will get us confused quite often.
I got you, man. I got you. So, man, tell us about how you got started in acting.
So my career started when I was probably about 12 years old. I started in middle school. I took speech and drama. It was one of those choices I had to make when I was in middle school because they only had like home ec or speech and drama available, and I played sports. And if you know anything, about back then, you know you can't be in the locker room talking about you putting on an apron. So I said, nah, I ain't gonna do that. We live in a different time now where it's okay if you do that. But back when we were growing up, that you get talked about. You got to defend yourself off that. So I was like, nah, man, I ain't putting on no apron. So I decided to go ahead and do some drama. I acted a fool in class anyway, so I might as well go ahead and do it too.
Right.
And so after that, the teacher, he actually David Thomas, crazy because we just reconnected on Facebook probably like a year ago. And I just had to say thank you to that man because had it not been for him, I probably would have did a one and done. Like did it that year and probably would have, I was gonna be a lawyer. That was my career. I was gonna be a lawyer. Yeah. So I didn't even choose this. I didn't choose acting. It kind of chose me. But he brought me in and I remember my first play was like Rumpelstiltskin. And he had me playing like 3 or 4 different roles in the show. And so I would go off stage, change costumes, and come back on and that kind of thing. And he said, man, you're pretty good at this. You may want to stick with it. Me, I'm just being silly. I'm just doing what I do, in that aspect. But the high school director, he introduced me to them. And then, from there, they just kind of was like, they all kind of had that same, I don't know, inkling, I guess you can say. Like, man, like it's something there. Like I can't pinpoint it, but it's something there. And I'll never forget the advice that my high school director gave me. He said, if you get the right training, you could be really, really good at this. Because what he said in watching me perform and act on stage, he said, I see all of these like beautiful things you're creating, but the problem is that when I be like, oh, I like that, do it again, I couldn't recreate it because I don't even know what I did. I was just up there just going. And I guess the artistry part of what acting is being able to replicate what it is that you do each and every time, right? Because you do a theater show, you have 27 to 30 something shows that you got to do 5, 6 shows a week. You got to be able to get people the same show, 36 times, in a row. So he suggested that, and I had never even considered that. And my life is so full of craziness, man. But stop me when you're ready.
Man, no, you're good.
We went to a theater festival, and I was just going to enjoy the festival, and I wasn't entering no events or nothing like that. Some of my classmates, they did, but it was like a 3 or 4 day trip. And he got wind of an audition that they were having for undergraduate school. And it was like a group audition. So all these colleges would come into this one big ballroom, and those that were auditioning would come in and audition, and then they would decide, if they were interested or not or whatever. And so he talked me into doing it. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, what do I perform? He said, just do what we did in class, man. Just, do it. So here I am. I get to the place where they hold me audition. I'm in this room full of other people, and they got their ties on, and the girls got their audition dresses on. Bro, I had on a hoodie, blue jean shorts, and white on white K-Swiss.
Everybody felt out of place.
You was like, I don't belong here.
So I'm sitting there like I'm really uncomfortable because I don't feel like I don't feel like I belong just from appearance alone, right? So
Right, right, right.
I go in because they're taking us in five at a time. So the next five, the next five, and so on. And I've never done anything like this. But see, how I grew up and where I grew up, and you learn, right? You pick up quick, right? In
Yes,
my
sir.
house, you got talked about if you wasn't able to pick up quick. So
That's
I
right.
picked up quick.
Yes,
So
sir.
what I did was, since I was a third person, I
Hmm.
just watched what the two people in front of me was.
Nice.
I didn't know nothing about no slate. I didn't know I was supposed to say my name and what school I was from and what monologue I was doing and the
Yeah.
playwright. I didn't know I was supposed to do that. But in watching them, I went ahead and added that in while I was sitting there like, okay, so I can say this and say that. Because I wasn't trying to look, make a fool of myself. So got up there, got through it, did it, went back, sat down, the next two went, and then they walked us all out. As I walked out, I'm calling my teacher, like, I'm feeling terrible about it. Like, man, I done let you talk me into this. I done got to hear
Yeah.
from these people and embarrass me. Because I
Yeah.
didn't feel like I did my best. And as I'm on the phone with him, a guy, a little short white guy, come running out of the building. He said, excuse me. You were just in there, right? I
Mhm.
said, yes, sir. He said, he introduced himself. I don't remember his name, but he said, I'm the head of musical theater at Oklahoma University.
Mhm.
And man, I'm really impressed. Like with what you presented in there. By any chance you ever gave a thought, coming to OU? I was like, I guess I do now. What's
Right. Right. Right.
so um he gave me his card. He said, we'll be in touch and all of that kind of stuff. So that one something came out of it. And so I was like, I'm going to OU, right? That thing. And so I told my teacher and all that kind of stuff. And then him and his wife actually ended up probably like a month later dropping me to Norman, Oklahoma to
Uh-huh.
do my audition for the head of the theater arts program. And they accepted me.
Mhm.
And the only thing was, and I tell it was kind of, I don't know if it was me being full of myself or it was just God's plan. I just say it's God's plan because I ended up where God wanted me to anyway.
Right.
But what I didn't know is that they only allow upperclassmen to perform on stage. Juniors and
Wow.
seniors were the only ones. So sophomores, freshmen, you
Mhm.
work crew, and you got to do some like little smaller shows, but you couldn't hit the main stage.
Yes, sir.
And for me, I was like, I play in the big league, baby. I don't
Yeah.
sit on the bench for nobody. That's the
Right.
prime time minute. Yeah, I was
Right.
up my
Mr.
always
Prime
my baby.
Time.
That was the time minute.
Yeah.
I was like, I was on the bench for nobody. So I ended up going with my second choice, which was University of North Texas, which is actually right down the road from Norman,
Mhm.
UNT up in Denton. And it was there that I learned some of the most valuable lessons about the art form of acting and performance. And then full circle and making my way to Houston, University of Houston, becoming a part of the grad school program. And my Texas agent signed me while I was still in grad school. And so it just took off from there, man. It really did. Then I got my manager and then Atlanta agents and then LA and my LA manager. And so now I have all these teams around the country, it just kind of built upon itself. But
Mhm.
training is going to always be the most important element. That's the advice I give any actor.
And
Get
you,
the training.
yeah, and you know what's so crazy when you said to go back, you said that you started in middle school and you said, well, since I act up, then I might as well just be in acting. It's funny because my son, he started middle school this year and he wanted to go into computer science. Well, he got in trouble because he's in theater arts. And we was like, no, you're gonna stay in theater arts. Since you want to
Yeah,
act a fool, you
right, right,
you can stay
right,
in
right,
theater
right, right.
arts. But
Yeah,
you know
go,
what?
go, yeah, go ahead.
But you know what? The theater teacher, it was 2 days ago, bro. The theater teacher said that my son is a joy to have in his class. Like he
Always
is,
love those
and
people.
that's
Always
crazy.
love.
That is so crazy that you said that because he's honestly he auditioned. He didn't audition, but he helped with an audition um for Joffrey's show that he started. My son actually did a great job. Like he has a little bit of something in him, like
Good,
seriously.
And that's, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's all it takes. That's
yeah.
really all it takes is for you to just see a little something in them, and it helps them to see something in themselves that they didn't even know existed. I didn't know this existed in me. I didn't have this in me to do, let alone like when I went to college and I told my mom I was doing my degree training in theater with a focus on acting. She was like, Negro, is you crazy? Like, you don't want to
Yeah.
do, he said it a little smoother, you know.
Right.
She said, you don't want to get, a major or a minor, a double major or something, and a minor to kind of cool that over. And I was like, no, this is it. This is it.
Yeah,
And
this
so
is
she
it.
was like, okay, acting, huh?
I know that's
I
right.
didn't know they gave degrees in that.
I mean, it just really wasn't in a Black family. That really wasn't the like best way to go. It was like always looked at as like taking a chance. You know what I'm
Anything
saying?
artistic. Yeah.
And even now, it's still looked at as like, you sure that's what you're,
Right.
because it is one of those things that come with a lot of back work before, you have some people that are blessed enough to just, hey, 1 or 2 projects and they're there. But
Right.
for a lot of people, it's it's a struggle. It's a long process and it's so much that goes into it. And it seems like maybe it pulls more out of you before it pours back into you. Is one of those type of things.
Right, most definitely. It's like a stepping. I learned something very valuable on a film set once. I heard the director talking about just actors' careers and what the goal should be. I always, especially when I was younger, like in my 20s and stuff, I used to listen because that's how you pick up really quick. You know what I mean? But I heard a director talking about how you want your career to be like that stair step of bricks. You want these bricks to build up on top of each other because that gives you a very solid foundation. See, the hard part about it is when you have those 1 or 2 projects and then you shoot off. See, shooting off and making it to the top, you don't know how to handle what's up there.
Yeah.
You're not equipped, right? It's like taking somebody who's truly skilled and truly good at what they do and putting them in the pros. And when you come up against some real pros who have those bricks, it's hard to compete.
Yeah,
right? And
absolutely.
you were great for those 2 little things that you did before, but that was just those projects. What about the other things? Now you got to show some true skill.
Yeah.
And so and they don't have it.
Right.
They don't have it. And that's even true with actors who've only done film. Some of them, they won't even jump into that theater pool.
Right.
Because it's a whole nother monster.
It's
a whole nother monster.
Now, before you start, because we wanted to get into the theater, but let's take a minute back from the acting and everything that comes with it. I heard you a Cowboy fan. A little birdie told me that. I don't know how true that is.
Okay, so
and I don't want to start. I don't want to start violence early in the AM.
Okay,
I don't want to start no violence early in the AM. But it's black and yellow over here.
So what you're saying is you're struggling. School bus, small one. I get it. Black and yellow, school bus, small. I get it.
I like that.
I get it. I understand. He was trying to tell us I'm a little bit it turned, but it don't go
turn
all
the way.
over.
But hey, you know what? I gotta hold it down for Still a Nation, because somebody gonna come look at this video and say he didn't hold it down for us. But I will say this is the beginning of the season. You guys do look good. I gotta give credit where credit gets due. Although that interception machine, that Dak Prescott gonna be the end of y'all, boy.
Yeah. And you know what? Here's the thing. I don't think any fans from another team tells us anything that we don't already know. Between Dak and Jerry, man, I have a mini heart attack every Sunday. Because we don't know which version of Dak we gonna get.
Yeah, bro.
Right? We'll get a 40 and 40-0 Dak one game, and then the next game
Is well, let's make a trade. I give you our OC Matt Canada, and
Nope.
you give us Dak.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Damn.
Nope.
God
We
damn.
gotta have somebody.
God damn.
Nope. Yeah.
God damn.
You know, the quarterback is the building stuff. So we're not starting over.
Let me go talk to. Now our quarterback is pretty good. We just trying to get rid of Matt Canada. Matter of fact, just give us one of them hot dogs in Jerry World, and y'all can have.
Yeah, we can get him. We may be able to work that out.
Yeah,
give me a glizzy over there.
Give me a glizzy over here, man. But
I knew he was gonna say something about them dang that football because, honey, when he found out you was and let me tell you, I don't meet a lot of Cowboy fans, but I just want to know y'all some of the most hated fans, okay?
But you know, this is my thing.
I don't even do football like that, and I know every time somebody say if I tell them I'm from Houston, they go, "You a Cowboys fan?" I go, "I already know." Oh, okay, good, because we don't like the Cowboys.
They don't even watch football. They don't even watch football.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. I have one question for all those people. What is it that Cowboy fans do that other fans from other teams don't do? What is it that we do that everybody else don't? We root for our team. We go hard for our team. But see, the only difference is we down for our team, whether they win, lose, or draw. Other ones, they now they get to talk about, oh, I got two teams. Two teams.
No, I don't have no two teams. I don't play that game.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I don't play that game.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about. You ain't no. I got an option.
Get out of here. It's like I'm married, but I got a girlfriend too, just in case. Nah, you can't be trusted. Get on out.
Let me get this right. It's no polygamy in football.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. No.
Monogamous. You choose who you with.
You
choose who you ride with.
That's right. You choose whoever you choose, and if it ain't your year, just ain't your year. Try again.
You got to stick beside them. But see, the thing about us is we won't let nobody else talk down to us. That's the problem. See, that's what they mad about. They mad that we won't allow them to push us down and push us in our feelings. Now we gonna root for them and talk about them. You know, from the morning to the evening. So yeah, go and take that. Take that.
I respect that. I respect it.
Yes. So what you think about the Saints?
There's something on your back wall though. It look like a dirt something.
Nah, ain't no dirt.
Ain't no dirt. You know that number? That's some back. I don't know what
best strong safety ever to live.
That fly swatter.
Ain't no fly swatter. See all this right here in these terrible times.
Get that off of there. Yeah.
I got everything. Man, I
gonna clean that off of there, man.
This ain't that type of kind of show, brother. Cause boy, I know.
So you ordered this all for me, the Pittsburgh, and then you got the
you blame. No, you blame Jaffe because he the one that came up with some questions, and all the questions I saw one thing, Cowboy fan. So I said, yeah, I got the.
Oh yeah.
I got the highlight.
But it's cool. When I seen it, I was like, "Oh, it's finna go down."
It's good though. I don't have no problems with the Cowboy fans. So you're right. We just like everybody else. You got just like everybody else. But I think it's the butt of joke to mess with y'all every year.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's the drama. It's
every year's our year. It's got to be.
Exactly.
Every year is our year.
Exactly. So you get the Shannon Sharps of the world and the Stephen A. Smiths and all of them, and they just line up and they ready to see y'all.
I don't understand how Stephen A. can have his hair start in the middle of his head and have the audacity to talk about Stephen A. He fixed that. Get that. Whatever it was Tory Lanez had.
Yeah,
go do that.
That's my brother. That's my Steeler. He is still a fan too. So you chill.
This is what Steeler fans do. They worried about the Cowboys, and yet they got their stuff started back here. He saluted the army like this. Yes, sir.
I got
they hairline push way back, bro.
My hairline is fine. It's just I got a lot of grays. And Matt Canada put it there.
You got attention back here.
Right.
Oh man.
All his thoughts pushed to the back of his head. All his thoughts.
He had big dreams.
Stephen A. Smith, I am not participating.
No, he don't have dreams. He had movies.
I ain't participating in this, Stephen A. I love you, bro.
I'm going in. I'm sorry, because he be going in on people. I'm going in. Stephen A. We going in on you this morning. I'm sorry. I had to join Mr. Brown on that
one. Brother, what was it hard transitioning from the stage to the big screen?
I will say this. I think it would have been. It was not for me. And the only reason is because I took my degree training to the next level. Grad school is extremely competitive to even get into. I'll give you an example.
Uh-huh.
When you have undergrad programs, those programs annually take in about anywhere between 140 to 160 students into their program, right? The
Right.
thing about grad schools for actors, they may take 5. University of Texas, I think, takes 3.
Right.
University of Houston, where I went, they took 8. So the spots school are completely competitive. Like you have to compete, and this is from around the world. People are competing for those spots. So to get into grad school, number one is that's a stepping stone number one. But then to actually go through that rigorous training, we have what was called a summer intensive. So beginning in July, when school don't even start until August, but we start with a very rigorous training in the summertime during our summer intensive. So to take that on as an actor prepares you for a whole nother level already.
Right.
And once, because I actually had done film when I was in undergrad, I just, it wasn't the best, at least for me. The films that I was a part of, they won some awards, some really great awards, got some TV time. So I was really proud of that. You know what I mean? And so I had that already to work with. But I remember I was doing an audition when my Texas agent signed me, and my agent was filming me at the agency. Shout out to Cindy over at Pastor Anybody. And she said, Kedrick, what you're doing is really good, but it's too big. Like I just bring it down. And I don't know what it was, but it was something in my mind that just clicked and was like, oh, just make it easier, make it more natural. And once that clicked in my mind, I understood the tremendous difference between the two, how to cut the theater on and how to cut it off. When I get ready to do a play sometimes, whoever's directing the show will say, I need you to project more. That's because I've been doing film and TV for so long that, we're not projecting. The microphone is right here. You have a normal conversation, right? There's a stage where you've got to push and project your voice from your diaphragm all the way to the back wall. So then I have to condition, it's just like training, getting back into it. You have to condition your mind to get back in.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
No,
Well,
essentially, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Mike.
no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
So last year I did my first play. This year I just got casted for my second play. And I agree, it's so different. It's so different. It's like night and day to me.
You have to train your body. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like being a two-sport athlete.
Yes.
You have to condition your body to make the switch.
Yes, exactly. So I was going to ask you, what advice do you have for people that are actors, actresses that are doing both?
So I would always suggest on making sure you're able to master those, that switch, because it will hurt you more than it'll help you if you aren't able to do that, because it won't showcase your talent in the best light, right? Because you may be one heck of a theater actor, but if you don't know how to make that switch from film to theater or from theater to TV, they'll go, they're just not good. And that may not even be the case. You may be damn good, but you just, in fixing those technical, physical aspects of what it takes to do both of them, the differences between them, if you're not able to master those things, then it hurts you more than it helps you, right? Because then those phone calls start becoming less and less because they say you don't have it, which you really do, but you've just got to learn to make that switch. So if you're doing both, I think I do both. I think it's a great thing, but just make sure you're able to make sure you're able to make that switch when you're doing both film and television, because that's important for your career and your reputation. That's all we got.
Nice. I have someone that did theater, and they was like, if you mess up, there's no, all right, cut. Hold on, let me go back.
Yeah, ain't no cut.
Ain't no
Ain't
cut.
no go back.
Ain't no go back.
Ain't no hold. Ain't no line.
Yeah, ain't no line. So it's more of like it's you have to all right, just go work through it.
Oh, you got to improvise.
Yeah, you got to improvise.
I'll never forget. I would tell him. I actually teach.
Right.
I actually teach. I've taught 3 years at HISD. Then I went to Fort Bend and taught 2 years over there. And this year I'm working with a school in South Fair. And I've served as the theater director at all those schools. And I was telling my students the other day, that was a show that I did one time. Man, look, this was probably like the 5th or 6th show, and down at the ensemble, my theater home, the ensemble theater. And I just blinked out. I was like, what is the next line? And I was looking at my scene partner, and I was looking at her, and she was looking at me, and I was like, she was like, this Negro has no idea where he is. So she threw me a little bone and it reeled me back in. But I was like, do you see this?
You see the stress on my face. Help me.
Help me.
Help me.
That's the crazy thing about theater. It's like when you forget a line, everybody have to improvise. Because you having to improvise, everybody else have to improvise too with you to make that scene still work. And
That's
it's
why
like,
I love theater so much, because it creates a family bond.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna laugh about it after the show, but during the show, it ain't funny because everybody goes and everybody edits, light bulbs, stage manager,
everybody's looking like
everybody's there like, you better find your way back. You better find your way back.
For all these on there, all the stuff.
Right.
Like, and then you can know your lines like perfect and like know your lines, and it could just be one thing that throws you off. And then you get thrown off, you forget your line, and then everybody's looking at you like, so and they realize it because y'all been doing this for so long. They realize that you're struggling, and they'll help you.
Right.
But that may also kind of throw everybody else off a little bit, and it just takes a whole group. The whole group has to kind of get back into rhythm on it.
Yeah. And that 3 seconds feels like 3 years. That 3 seconds of silence feels like 3 years of silence on stage. Right. And so I think that, to me, that's one of the best parts of theater, is the live aspect of it. But you create bonds with people so much stronger in theater because of the rehearsal process and the character building and building those relationships between the characters. Film and television, it's so instant. I'll get called onto a film or something like that, and they've been filming for the past 3 or 4 weeks, and here I come. They're throwing my character in, and I've got to build this immediate connection with these individuals, in a matter of 48 hours. So that's the most difficult part about film and television acting, I think, is being able to establish solid relationships in a very short amount of time. When you see things in film and TV, movies and TV shows, and you go, oh, the acting's so bad. It's not just the acting, but it's also the lack of relationship building with the characters. And if the relationships between the characters are not established, then the story doesn't look good or sound good. It doesn't mesh well. Right. That's because when you watch a good movie, whatever that may be for you, or a good TV show, when you watch those characters and how they interact, that's what draws on you as an audience member emotionally, mentally, spiritually. That's what makes people cry in movies. That's what makes people die hard laughing in movies, because of those established relationships, and then how those relationships are affecting one another within the storyline. But I think what happens is, a lot of time in film and TV, is those things aren't developed. It's just, you say these lines, and we're gonna cut the camera on and y'all go. And that's where it lacks.
So let's talk about the TV roles that you have been in. Black Lightning, Greenleaf. Greenleaf, I didn't know that. Greenleaf was my favorite show. New Amsterdam. What was your favorite role?
The next one.
Which one? The next one. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, come on,
the next one.
He said he quick on his feet. He said he quick on his feet now.
What's better than one?
My favorite. Next one. I'll say that I've had a good time working on all of those shows. Black Lightning, I enjoyed really because again, for me as an actor, and primarily growing up, and getting that traditional theater training, um, I was able, because I recurred on the show so often, it allowed me to get to know Chris and Will and China. It got me, I was able to see them more. I was able to have more, just side personal conversations and just kick it and hang and see how they move and, interact with one another on a human to human level. And then as far as the characters, it helps to be able to develop those relationships, right? Because China played my student, I played her instructor, and I am a teacher. I know how to develop those relationships with students, right?
Right.
Because an actual educator and Chris plays my principal, I know what that dynamic is and that relationship feels like. So it just been able to incorporate all of those things for me was a lot of fun in the creative process.
Nice.
Yes.
Now, let me go back because I haven't seen Greenleaf in a long time. What role did you play?
So if you remember in season 1, Grace,
Grace,
when
the
Grace
sister.
came back,
Yeah.
she she wanted to know what happened to her sister.
Right.
And so in doing all the investigating and trying to figure out what happened to her sister, there was a stalker that stalked her at the church, stalked her over the phone, and then ended up meeting with her in the woods to give her the flash drive. And she was supposed to pay me the money for the information that, told her that the flash drive gave her all the stuff that told her what happened to her sister.
I remember.
And so,
I remember.
And so Breezy was the character. And so I was I was the one blackmailing her, for money, to get the information on what happened to her sister.
How was it working with God? I forgot his name just that quick, but I know on Instagram. Yeah.
So
How was it
interesting,
working with him?
Keith David and I did Tales from the Hood 2 together too.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And so, but Greenleaf was before that. Funny, the director and Keith David were at the craft services table, and Breezy, the character, was a homeless guy. And so I had already been to wardrobe, makeup, and so they had already did me up and all this kind of stuff. I looked dingy. I did look dingy. And so the assistant director took me back to my trailer and was like, hey, if you want to go to craft services and grab some, you got time, before we. I was like, oh yeah, food, I'm down. Yeah, okay. Where's that? It's right. Okay, good.
Right.
Let me put my stuff down. I'm gonna go ahead and go to craft services. So I go to the craft services table. Keith David and the director are standing there, and I'm walking. I have this tray, and I'm like, excuse me. Yeah. Oh, hey, what's up, fellas? And Keith David is looking like, let this homeless man in here. and so, and the director, he was kind of like, and they was having a conversation, and they just paused and was just looking like, this is so random. Like, how was the homeless man? Nobody's gonna say nothing. How'd you get past security? So I go back, and when I come back, when they bring me on, it was like they didn't tell us that.
Oh man.
Right. And so it was cool, but it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch.
Man,
I'm surprised they just. Can we get somebody to get this guy here?
You know what? I'm hopefully they may have, like, as soon as I walked off, they quick to get on the radio.
I can imagine him saying, "Who let this homeless man in here?"
Are you saying I'm part of the show? And they pull you out.
Right.
Great guy.
I'm supposed to be here.
I'm supposed to be here. Right.
I remember the scene on Dead Presidents where he was in like a fight, and he had like a fake leg, and he was like, out of all the legs, this motherfucker grabbed the wrong one.
I remember it was in the pool hall, right?
It was in the pool hall.
Yeah.
Out of all the legs, like he had a lot of options.
Yeah, like he had a lot of options. But the guy that he was fighting, he grabbed the wrong leg. He grabbed the fake leg. and it just came off.
Oh,
He was like,
Yeah,
throwing the leg like, but
right.
hey, that's some good defense because if I'm fighting somebody and I pull off a prosthetic leg and I don't even know it's, I'm be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
And
it'll throw
that's
you
all
off.
the time you need the boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I'm distracted.
yeah.
man, Mr. Bishop Greenleaf. Um, we know it's a strike going on, and
Right.
Yeah.
you want to share your thoughts about that?
So, the thing about it is that, currently, we're only allowed to film. I'm actually flying out to LA tomorrow in the morning, 6 a.m. flight. Whew, geez. But we're only being allowed to film commercials, music videos, things of that nature, right? All the mainstream shows that we know are off limits, which is why you guys aren't seeing your shows coming back on and all that kind of stuff because of the actors and the writers. The writers just closed their deal. Congrats to them. Good for them. We're still with them. So hopefully they'll stand with us as well in what it is that we need. Um, I've been fortunate enough. I just filmed a national spot commercial for Visa about 2 weeks ago. So that'll start airing nationally probably, I think, tomorrow. Um,
Mhm.
and I'm headed to LA tomorrow to film on a music video. They won't let you know what artist it is. For me, I don't care about all that, man. Look, let's just do the work and let's do what we got to do. And but
Right,
also bring the money. That's the
right.
important part. Bring the money. And the money is going to be important. Bring the money. Yeah.
Exactly right.
So, but I think for us as actors, it'll be easier. I don't think we'll see, 178 or 68 days that we've seen, to this point with the writers, and then 100 and something with us. I think within the month we should be able to come because the studios and SAG-AFTRA are meeting for the first time on Monday.
Yeah, yeah.
They haven't met. They met. With the writers and they, all the back and forth and negotiations over the course of a week, and then they came to a deal. And so they start their negotiations with SAG-AFTRA on Monday. I think for what it is that we want, some of those wants and needs are the same as what the writers needed. And because they were able to concede with those things with the writers, I don't see that being a problem with us. But then there are some things that are going to be more specific to us as actors that I think we would have to address and to cover. That could take a little more time, and that's why I give it about 3 to 4 week time span. I think it's important for artists, the actors in particular, to stick together in this moment because the choices that are being made in this negotiation will affect us for a very long time.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you know anything about LA and contracts, once you sign the contract,
It's Death Row Records.
welcome to Death Row,
Welcome to
right?
Death Row. Yeah.
Right? Ain't no way out of it. It is what it is. And so, I think how we ended up here was there was what we were already under a contract. We have been for a couple of decades, but we didn't see streaming services becoming what they were. We
Right.
actors aren't properly paid or compensated for the streaming services, the networks that'll come on. And we didn't expect. I mean, Netflix came on, and then Hulu joined on. But then what you're starting to see is all the other networks and stations create their own streaming services: BET Plus, Paramount Plus, HBO, Disney Plus. All of them are creating their own streaming service. And there's no guideline on how actors are supposed to be compensated when doing or working for shows that are specifically for that service. Like there's no because it didn't exist when that contract initially existed, right?
Right.
So we got to go back to the drawing board. Otherwise, we plan it by ear and we need specifics. We need specifics. Stop playing with us. And what the actors are asking for as far as monetary compensation is not astronomical. It wouldn't put a dent in the 200 million that some of these executives are making in bonuses from those studios. These studios are making gobs of money, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is that you have 80% 87% of actors who don't, because in order to meet the insurance qualification for SAG-AFTRA and the pension, you have to make over a certain amount every year. And actors, 87% of actors aren't even meeting that because the way the compensation is aligned and it's work. You know what I mean? So we got to go back to the drawing board on that. And what they're doing is they're taking shows, for example, like Black Lightning, and putting it on. It airs nationally on the CW, and then they, once the season is done, they dump it on to Netflix. Netflix writes them a check. Hey, excuse me, hello. We over here.
Exactly right.
Right? And here a little something for you.
Yeah, here a little something.
Oh man, see, it don't work like that. Right?
Yeah.
There's no guideline that says what that number is or what that compensation looks like, because that didn't when the previous contract was drawn up and created, that didn't exist. Netflix and Hulu and all that wasn't even a business, right?
Right.
It was still working Hollywood Video and Blockbuster.
Wow. So the contract goes back that far.
Right.
Didn't know that.
Right.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to figure out where we'll land with this, it's important to create those guidelines, because if you know anything about Hollywood, there's a loophole somewhere.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh yeah. That's crazy. But I mean, y'all do deserve that fair pay. I mean, everybody. We do deserve that, and it's crazy how it's so easy to be manipulated in this field. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so crazy how like all aspects are not well taken care of. It's like they expect y'all to take care of your families with crumbs, and that's not cool.
Make it make sense.
And you know what's the crazy part is that billionaires tell you, could you take a pay cut?
Yeah.
Like a billionaire gonna tell you, can you take a cut?
Yeah. That's crazy.
They got more money than they can spend in their life, but they asking you to take a cut or giving you 1 cent residuals. Like, here you go,
Right.
So it's important for this strike to go the way for the people, because with the introduction of AI and all this is going on, and
and that's a whole
that's
right
a
there alone, man.
I was listening to, shout out to the Wall Street Trapper. He said what's going on in Hollywood is important right now, because it starts. Because if this AI accomplished in Hollywood, they're going to go to food services, they're going to go to the delivery services, and it's going to spread. And it's a great percentage of us and our brown people that are in food services and delivery services. It's a great percentage, about like 80% of us. So if they replace us with those services with machines, who's going to be out of a job?
And that, I think, for me too, also, I'm saying AI wasn't even a thing. And my manager and I were having this conversation yesterday. I said, if they didn't have ill intentions with AI, then what we're asking for wouldn't be an issue to agree with.
Exactly.
So that right off the bat tells me that where you were thinking you wanted to go with AI and all of what we want will break that down, and that's going to be a problem for you. You know what I mean? So if what we are asking for wouldn't interfere with ill plans then you would be no, we didn't have any intentions on replacing you with AI anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it would have been said. It would have been said, no, that's not what we're trying to do. But they have not denounced that at all. And what's so crazy is that and like I was talking, I don't know who I was speaking with about this, but I was like, when you do AI, like you lose that personalization, that people have that connection, that energy that we get to see on screen. There's no way.
And that's why when I talked about those relationships, building those
Yeah.
relationships, and how it has that effect on you. Um,
Yeah.
like, for example, don't get me wrong. The part about Avatar that makes Avatar work is the fact that they have actual humans a part of it, and
Right.
that creates that emotional and spiritual and mental attachment for the audience. But when you take something like that and it doesn't affect you as much, because
Mhm.
in your mind you go, it's not real, right?
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
Yeah, exactly. And trust me, I'm not the biggest fan of Avatar. I did watch it, but I like the human effect of when I go to the movies to see. I mean,
Yeah.
shout out
Right.
to James Cameron and everyone on that side, but it's just I'm just
Mhm.
not the fan of it, you know.
Right.
But no, I totally get it, man. So man, I
Yeah.
appreciate you, and I appreciate all the other actors fighting the good fight, because me and
Yeah.
Tashay, James, and Chris, we are like the future of getting into the business and everything.
Right.
We both as actors as well, and so we just watching from the sidelines. And so I really appreciate
'Cause
everything that you're
it'll
doing.
affect you. It will
Yeah.
affect you.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely, because we're the ones that's coming behind you guys. So
Yeah.
we really appreciate it. One more
And you
question,
get
and then
some people, oh, I'm sorry. You get
no, you
some
go ahead.
people who just, on the outside, who's not signed, who's still acting or whatever. They go, oh, well, they're not able to do these things. So yeah, let's try to, we're trying to work more or whatnot. But I have been asking, and other people that we talk to have been asking, like, what is it that we could do to help out with the fight on our end?
Exactly.
Just continue to support us in those numbers and the solidarity of, and even because I've had people tell me, hey, when our new show's coming out, write a letter, call them and ask them, hey, what's
Mm,
up? What y'all waiting on? Right? Because one of the things that these people really depend on is they care about their stocks, and they care about all of that stuff. So if
Yep.
ain't
mhm.
nobody tuning in, and if ain't nobody watching, and if ain't nobody, then those numbers drop for them, and they start to see those differences.
Yep.
Right?
Mm.
Yep.
You're gonna have those people. I'm watching my show. Don't care what they say.
Oh
I know
yeah.
if they start doing the AI stuff, I mean, we're just gonna have to just boycott
Shut
it
it down.
in some kind of ways. I
Shut
mean,
it down.
you know.
Yeah.
Shut it
Yeah.
down.
And then
Pretty
when they
much.
see nobody's watching it, they go, "Oh, well, this is not it." But
Yeah.
it has to hurt their pockets before it hurts their feelings.
Correct.
That's the only way to get it done. You gotta hurt them pockets. Well, brother, one more
Hmm.
question, and then we're gonna let you go, because we know you tired from cutting that grass.
That's all good.
He need a
um,
glass of lemonade.
need
I
grass
know.
lemonade. Is
Yeah.
that standard for cutting grass? Like, I need a grass lemonade. That sounds like
That's
I do it
Yeah.
on purpose.
I
Go
need
on
I
and
something
think
pour
that's
me
what
cool.
we
2
always
pints of
seen, the
lemonade.
guy cutting the grass, and then the wife comes out with the lemonade. Would you
Lemonade.
like
That's
some
on
lemonade?
purpose. That's colorful.
That was it, right?
Celie, go fix me a glass of lemonade.
Right, right,
Wow.
right, right.
And then
Next
you
time
know
she
what she
put a
did
little
with that
sugar, gave
glass
it
of
to you.
lemonade?
Yeah.
I don't want the glass of lemonade.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
one more question.
we know the holidays are coming up. Um,
Mhm.
what's your favorite holiday? I mean, we have
Christmas.
Halloween,
Christmas.
Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Christmas. Oh, I love
Christmas.
Christmas. I just love the spirit because people's moods change around that time, no matter what. They love more,
Yeah.
they care more, and I just love to see that from people. I love Christmas time. Making it about how people treat each other. People are more kind around that time of year.
Absolutely. And with that note, man, we're gonna wrap it up, man. Tell us more. Tell everybody what you got going on. You could plug your Instagram and everything.
So I clearly, we everything shut down, so ain't gonna be no shows, ain't gonna be no movies.
You heard
But I
that?
do have some commercials spots coming out once we start airing nationally tomorrow, and I'm gonna fly out to LA to film this. I'll keep everybody posted. Kedrick Brown. You can follow me on all social media sites. It's gonna be the same. The Kedrick Brown, Kedrick, no N. It's not Kendrick.
Kendrick.
Kedrick.
Kendrick.
Kedrick. Yeah. So
Okay.
Kedrick Brown, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. What is it? What was it? Black Planet MySpace.
Black Planet MySpace. Damn. Black people meet.
You went way back. You want plenty of fish too?
I haven't heard Black Planet. Swear to God, I haven't heard Black Planet since 08. Since 08. Man. That's crazy. Well, all right.
That's really cool.
I appreciate you, man, for taking the time out to come speak with us. Thank you. Continue the good fight, man. Our hearts and prayers go out. Man, we really appreciate you, brother, and we can't wait to see you when this strike is over with. We can't wait to see you come out with some more projects, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.